Hey, everybody, it's Anthony Bowling and another episode of Chasing Gazillions. Ain't the same as making millions. Just hanging out with your local real estate professional, bringing you again another professional here to talk to you about things that are important to you here in the world of real estate, whether you're buying, selling, you're an investor, you're a first-time home buyer. The Anthony Bowling Group is here to be of service to you. Today, I'm so excited. Hold on a second. Hold on. Somebody's at my door. Hold on. That was like a technical. I don't know what that was, but here we are. So today, guys, I'm bringing to you Ingrid Rapavi. She is with First Home Mortgage. That's her email. Look, I could go on and drone on about working with this professional. She is first class. Anything about mortgages, but it's more than that. I'm here to tell you, if you're a real estate professional, if you are looking for a mortgage professional, this says it all right here. We send Ingrid emails on Sundays, and she's right back at you, dude. She's out here on the street like the rest of us. Look, I'm going to let her talk about her, and then we're going to get into this because I know that's why you all are here. Ingrid, tell everybody about who you are, your company, what you do.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Rapavi. I'm with First Home Mortgage. I've been with First Home Mortgage about 12 years. Before that, I've worked in the industry overall about 25 years doing mortgages, and I work a lot with first-time home buyers, different programs, different ways to get people into a home. And I work a lot with Tony, and we have a great relationship in working with people to get them into a home, especially first-time home buyers.
That's right. And working together. So when you're out here and you're talking about building relationships and working, and when you hear my slogan, right? When I say to you, the Anthony Bowling Group, our leveraged relationships will save you time and make you money. This is who I'm talking about right here. I'm talking about Ingrid. That's the leverage relationship that I'm talking about that's going to help you. Not me, her. So look, let's jump right into it, Ingrid. I've run into a lot of buyers, particularly first-time home buyers, here in DC, Maryland. They say, well, I can't buy, I can't afford, I got to get ready, I got to get myself right, I don't make enough. And I'm always constantly saying, well, how do you come to understand that? How do you know that? How do you come to know?
Yeah.
Right. How do you know what it is you can afford, how much you can buy? They say, well, my grandmother didn't and my mama didn't. And I'm saying, yeah, but what about you? Well, I don't. And it's always with the I don't. And I say, hey, how about this? Let me send you over to Ingrid. Talk to her.
It's very simple. It's as simple as a conversation. You don't have to do anything other than have that initial conversation. And Tony, you probably talk to people when you're initially talking to them about this. But it's a matter of just talking to a lender, two lenders, and telling them what your income is, what your monthly debts are, what your credit score is, and just having that initial conversation. And they can work different scenarios for you before you start submitting applications, sending in all your
credit.
Exactly.
That's right. So you needed someone, you need a coach, you need an advisor, you need someone who knows the road that you're about to go upon, who can tell you what's coming down the road, help you avoid those rocks. Well, look, let me ask you this first question. How do lenders pre-approve a buyer? You hear about these pre-approval letters, buyers pre-approved. How do you do it?
So we basically take a look at their income, and we do a proposed monthly payment on a house or an idea of what they're looking for, and look at their current debts. And we look at credit score, income, and debt ratio. And then we can either work backwards into a property, or we can tell you what your maximum is. And sometimes people will say, oh, I'm going to pay off all my debts. Well, before you do that, talk to a lender and then decide if that's really necessary. Is it better to save money, or is it better to pay down debts? But the lender's going to look at those 3 items.
Okay. So you mentioned my income
Mhm.
and this debt ratio, you
Mhm.
said. Uh, okay, debt ratio sounds like division, sounds like fractions.
Mhm.
What is debt ratio? What is that?
Sure, absolutely. So what a lender does is they look at your income, and just for it, different programs have different debt ratios, but most of them are about 45%. So they look at your income and they say 45% of your income minus your current monthly debts, credit cards, loans, student loan payments, payments only, not balances. And what's left is what you qualify for. So the lender can back into that and say, if you say, I want no more than a $2,000 monthly payment, they can work with that and tell you whether you qualify for that or not. Or they may say, you qualify for less, you qualify for more. Let's look at what's out there in those price ranges.
Okay, well, you know what? You touched on an interesting point, a hot button.
Mhm.
It comes up, particularly with my renter clients that I'm nurturing
Mhm.
into first-time home buyers. And they say, hey, I live here and I pay 1,900 a month in rent. Uh, but I heard you just say the lender's only is not going to let me only spend about 45% of my income. Talk to me about why my renter who pays $1,900 a month living in this 2-bedroom apartment, and why their buying power might be less than that.
Sure. So when you're renting, and they're basically looking at what the rent payment is in comparison to your income. But the lender looks at the rent payment plus all other monthly payments, loans, credit cards, student loans, and that total debt load can't be more than 45% of your income. And sometimes what you qualify for is completely different than your comfort level. So it's a matter of knowing what your comfort level is and then talking to the lender to see what your maximum qualification level is. And those two things can vary.
Okay. So you're talking about debt load, you're talking about expenses.
Mhm.
Here's an expense that comes up when now that someone's qualified for a mortgage.
Mhm.
Now they're out with me, they're looking for a property, they find a property. And one of the things that comes up is something called mortgage insurance. Now, I know
Mhm.
there's homeowners insurance we talked to them about to protect the home in case there's damages. Am I trying to protect the mortgage from what?
Well, mortgage guidelines say that if you're not putting down at least 20%, that you have to pay mortgage insurance. And the mortgage insurance does protect the bank should the buyer default on the property. But that mortgage insurance lessens if you're putting 3% down, 5%, 10%, 20%. It's a sliding scale until you get to 20%, and then there's no mortgage insurance required. Likely, if you pay down that mortgage over time, the mortgage insurance will come off the loan on a conventional loan.
Okay. Okay. So if a person puts down more money,
Mhm.
they may not need to protect the mortgage and the lender with mortgage insurance.
Correct.
And you're saying that number is 20%?
20% of the purchase price. But keep in mind, you can look at, some people try to get to that 20% and they hold off buying until they get to 20%. I would look at the options. The lender will run numbers for you with 5%, 10%, 15. Ask the questions, do your research, and it may behoove you to purchase with 10% down or 5% down or 3% and get today's prices versus waiting 2 years until you have 20% and prices have gone up. So that's a conversation to have with your realtor and your lender.
And by 10%, 20% down, you're saying that's whip out money. That's money out of the buyer's pocket that
Correct.
they have to put down
Correct.
towards the purchase of the property.
And I will tell you, a majority of first-time home buyers get in with 3 or 5% down.
3%.
3%. And sometimes in down payment assistance programs to help that. So yes, as little as 3%.
You're saying a property that's worth $200,000, a
Mhm.
two-bedroom condo, a $150,000 condo, uh, that the buyer is only pulling out is sometimes as little as 3% of that purchase amount
Correct, for down
to
payment.
invest in this property.
Yep, and then you do have closing costs in addition to that, that run another 3 to 3.5%. But in the where the market is right now, you can also ask for help with the seller credit. So the seller can, if you can negotiate it into your contract, you may get some help. Right now,
Well,
I have a deal in Maryland
yeah.
where they're doing Maryland MMP with 5% down payment, getting a seller credit of 2.5%, and they basically get in with $500.
Well, that's certainly a great segue into the importance of having a competent and confident real estate professional representing you, like
Yes.
the Anthony Bowling Group, to negotiate those seller credits and assistance when you are out here working. That's a shameless plug. Hey, it's my show. Hey, okay, but it's not about me today. Okay, so let's go on.
But it
So,
does make a difference if you're working with an agent who does their research, who knows the market, knows when you can ask, which properties you can ask for credit on and which don't. And Tony, you're very good at that.
thank you. Thank you. Checks in the mail. Thank you, dear. So, you said the word conventional,
Mhm.
and you talked about MMP in Maryland. Talk to us about the types of programs that lenders have in general available to buyers to help them maximize their buying power here in DC and Maryland.
This is where you need to do a little research. You talk to your lender and you ask them, based on income, based on where I'm buying, what programs do you have that can help with down payment assistance? A lot of the down payment assistance programs are income based. So based on your income, the lender should be able to say, in Maryland you qualify for this, in Virginia you qualify for this, in DC you can qualify for this. And there's tax advantages and down payment assistance programs that you can stack one on top of another to try and maximize your purchase.
Wow. So these programs here to help with the down payment money, that
Mhm,
3 to 5 up to 20% of
mhm.
the purchase price. These programs are going to help these buyers by giving them those resources to help them.
Yes.
And in exchange, do I have to give up my firstborn, or I mean, what's
No.
no?
You just have to do the research. A lot of times your agent who's familiar with all of these programs will put some trigger words in, like in DC. There's DC Open Doors, there's HPAP, there's EHAP, there are DC tax abatement credits. And your realtor probably knows most of these and will help you in setting up that conversation with the lender in which things that you can put together.
Okay. Well, now you gave us the alphabet soup of
Right,
acronyms here.
right.
Uh, let's talk about one of those programs. Well, there you said there was ERAP,
EHAP.
EHAP, and HPAP.
Mhm.
Now, I think one of them works if you are a first responder, police, fire
Right.
person here working for DC government.
Correct.
Yeah, talk to me about if you're one of those persons.
So if you are a DC employee working in any position, you can get up to $20,000 in using EHAP funds. If you are a teacher, a firefighter, a first responder, you can get additional funds through EHAP. So that's one program. At the same time, DC offers a program called HPAP that would be work for any buyer. Based on income limits and household size, and there's a program that you have to go through. But if you're a DC employee, you can combine both of those programs. So you could get HPAP and EHAP and provide them together.
EHAP's going to give you 20.
Mhm,
You said there's a program called HPAP.
mhm.
It stands for the Home Purchase Assistance Program.
Right.
It's limited to first-time home buyers. I'm
Correct.
familiar with the program. It's hard to tell just looking at me, but I've been in this game a long time and I've seen the evolution of this HVAC program. It's a
Mhm.
gem of a program
Yes.
here
It
in
is.
the District of Columbia. It's unique. Uh, Other jurisdictions, I don't know that any other jurisdiction is providing what they are. And by providing, I mean up to
Mhm.
$202,000 in down payment assistance. Is that still the case?
It is the case, but they've put some limitations on it. They may give you a letter that says 202, but you're limited to 30% of the purchase price on each PAP. So let's say that you got a letter saying that you get 202, but your purchase price is 200,000. They're going to limit that to 60,000.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
so although they give you down payment assistance,
Mhm.
it is a second trust program. It's
Correct.
supposed to be behind you as a first trust lender.
Mhm.
So they say they're going to give you 202, but your purchase price is 200, they're not going to give you 100%.
Correct. Correct.
They're going to limit it to 30% of the purchase price,
Correct.
which in this case, this example, that's 60,000. Well,
They
60 grand. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, unless your mama gonna give you 60 grand, that's a good deal.
And there's not other programs with that amount. So you would get 60,000 for down payment plus 4,000 for closing costs.
Plus
Doing
that
that,
ERAP if you're a government employee.
then you also get another 20,000 that can be used for down payment or closing costs. So
Oh,
all of that can be wrapped in together. That can tremendously help you boost your purchasing power than other programs. Now, EHAP is available all year. They do run out of funds at time, but they have more placement of funds. HPAP last year came out in October and was out by January. We're waiting for this year's program to come out and to see if they're going to space it through the year or if it's going to be use it until it runs out.
well, it's a city funded program.
Absolutely.
It's not an entitlement.
Hmm.
It is eligible. You are eligible. You have to be a first time district resident and other things to get the funds.
Hmm.
And the funds do have a limit on it, right?
Right.
It's not evergreen. It's not
Right.
it's not just a well of money that just keeps flowing to anyone forever.
Right.
Right. And that seems fair. The
Yes.
city is doing its part to help increase affordable access to affordable housing
Hmm.
by offering these programs, EHAP, HPAP, and others. There's IZ, and there's just a litany of other
DC
programs.
has an abundance of programs. DC Open Doors gives you
DCO
3 or 3.5% for down payment and is always available. So there's
and,
no limitation on funds on
and
that one.
always available.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we were talking about programs.
Hmm.
Talk to the people about uh oftentimes not just with my first time home buyers, but my investors, they look at a property and the property that they want to buy, it needs sprucing. It needs
Yes.
something.
Yep.
It needs new carpet. It needs paint. It may need new windows. Hey, you know what? This is somebody's grandmother's house.
Hmm.
Bathroom hasn't been updated since 1970.
Right.
Right. I'm not saying that the roof isn't good. The roof is good, but it needs some things.
Hmm.
Uh, but they don't, right? You're talking about these buyers who may have the 20% down, they don't have the funds for acquisition and to do the remodeling. Are there programs out there that can help them?
There are both conventional and FHA renovation loans. They can be FHA as little as 3.5% down. It's 3.5% of the purchase price plus the cost of renovations. So it's a little bit larger. Let's say that you find a property that's 170 and you're going to do 30,000 in renovations. Your 3.5 is off the 200, the combined of them. But there are some great programs out there that will help you do those renovations. The rate's a little bit higher. You need to have your ducks in a row, be able to get all your estimates in, everything done, and the repairs done quickly. But there are some great programs, and I think your daughter used this. It's a fantastic program.
Another shameless plug. Yes, let's talk about that. Yes, my daughter, who did last year successfully leave my house, get out of my house, and bought her own. And I ain't mad at you,
Mhm.
right? So she bought a house and she was able to utilize the HVAC program
Mhm.
and the 203K
Mhm.
limited program to help renovate because these hands here they do a lot, but they're not handy. These are not handyman hands. So we had to get a contractor. And let's talk about that program, that 203K program.
Mhm.
You can acquire and you can renovate, but talk about the protections that were afforded to my daughter to protect her. She's not a contractor.
Sure.
Yeah, right. She's struggling just getting through the whole first time home buying process. And now you want to put on top of that renovating, remodeling
Mhm.
the property, working with contractors. Talk to us
So
about that
one
program, if
thing
you
I'll
don't mind.
note, you cannot use a renovation loan on a condo. So it's townhouses and houses only. And
Okay.
then there will be a HUD inspector who goes out and will inspect the property, and he'll come back with a list and he'll say, you had these 5 things that you wanted to do. That's great, but items 1 and 2 must be done to bring this property up to standard. So you
Mhm.
may have to rework some of those things based on what's required and what's not required.
Okay. So there's other professionals who involve inspectors and
Mhm.
all to make sure we have approved contractors who understand the program and are not going to hit you with change orders and things of that nature. So there are programs out here to help you if you also need to do some sprucing.
And the appraisal will be done on the future value to make sure that you're not paying too much, to make sure that it's going to be within the market value for the area that you're doing the renovations for.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, hey, this has been a fantastic program to talk about monies and all, uh, mortgages, income, debt ratios. Uh, Ingrid, let's put it back up. How do the people get? What's the best way for people who out here who are thinking about buying uh, a home here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area? What's the best way for them? Uh-oh.
So you can call me. My cell is 703-597-9925, or email me. I think it's up on the screen. It's
Yeah.
irpavy@firsthome.com. I'd
All
be
right.
happy to talk to you, sort of run some numbers, give you an idea of what programs might fit for you.
What was that telephone number again?
703-597-9925.
597-9925. You all see me typing and talking because, yeah, I have to do this myself. And okay, there it is. If anybody's out there who knows how to do Restream, I need the assistance. All right, I'm host. I got to get the talent. I'm talent recruiter, and I got to run this. I got to run it on the side. Okay, but there's the number for Ingrid. There's her email right there. First Home Mortgage. Everybody, this has been Ingrid Rapavy, and this has been another episode of Chasing Gazillion. Not the same as making millions, just kicking the can with your local real estate professional at Anthony Bowling Group, bringing you information and resources that are going to help you reach your dreams, accomplish your goals here in real estate. I see. Oh, somebody's here. We got some people. Hold on. We got some people here in the chat. I think we got some people. Oh my goodness. Hey, look. Look who's here in the chat. Everybody, it's the Virginia Bushcrafter, our #1 fan. This guy has been here supporting our show for the very beginning. He always comes in. Thank you so much, Bushcrafter, for coming in. He always says great things about us. And you got to visit his website, Virginia Bushcrafter. Like if you ever find yourself out in the woods and you think you're not MacGyver, right? This guy shows you how to take a twig and a tree and start a fire and stay warm and fight off the animals. It's great. So everybody, again, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming, Ingrid. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for sharing with us this very helpful information. There's my name. Oh yeah, Anthony at the Anthony Bowling Grill. I'm on all the websites. Anthony Bowling, something on Facebook, something on Twitter or X now. I'm out there, and you can reach us. And it's just been exciting to talk to you all. Hey, uh, get ready and try something. He says. What is he
Purchase,
saying?
I think.
Get ready and try and purchase. Yes, that's right. That's right. There you go. Look, that's right. Get ready. Try to purchase a new home. That's right. Exactly. Purchase a new home. Because now is the time. Hey, before I let you go, Ingrid, what about those rates? Where those rates at today?
Rates are right. They went down when the Fed lowered them and they came back up a little bit. But I still think it's a great time to purchase. You can always refinance later, but the market, you're not against 100 million people for property right now. You can get a property and refinance later.
There you go. So now is the time to get in. Now is a great time to be in the real estate market. Yeah, it is. All right, guys. Hey, I'm Anthony Bowling with the Anthony Bowling Group. Thank you so much for joining us. Can we get you to come back again, Ingrid?
Absolutely. Anytime.
Anytime, everybody. All right. All the best, everybody. Take care. Bye.